Hello aspirants, welcome to Grace IAS. So day before yesterday on 20th November, we have taken GS strategy paper 1, right? So I have in that paper dealt more particularly about the history section. And I have told you in that session that we'll be coming up with the next session on GS paper 1 strategy part 2, in which we'll be discussing about geography and society. So let's start with geography. So history we have already done in detail. You can see the part 1, that is strategy for GS paper 1 part 1. You can go and visit. Today we will be doing in GS paper 1 strategy part 2. We will concentrate on the geography subsection and the society, right? From the prelims point of view and the mains point of view, particularly geography. Particularly I'll be doing geography from the prelims point of view as well as mains point of view, and also I will show you some questions also of prelims and mains in geography, its weightage in prelim, right? And then I will be discussing society from the mains perspective. So look at the syllabus of geography. Salient features of world physical geography. So I have already mentioned that in geography you will be getting both Indian as well as world geography, both in prelims as well as mains. There is no distinction that only Indian geography will be coming, though majority of the question in mains will be from Indian geography, but they can ask from the world geography as well, right? And in prelims both Indian and world geography. I hope I made it clear, geography from both India and world's point of view, but obviously the major focus will be on Indian geography, both in prelims and mains. Distributions of key natural resources of the world and India, then primary, secondary, tertiary sector. Primary means, related to agriculture, secondary manufacturing, and tertiary that's related with the service sector. How are they being located, and what is basically the requirement of the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector. All this you'll be studying under this section. Then important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc., etc. Then water bodies, ice caps. These all section you will be understanding in the geography. And you see, the knowledge of geography is extremely important. Many a time geography and environment section, it is being clubbed because there is lot of kind of overlapping of idea and knowledge between geography and environment. So good knowledge of geography also helps you in solving environment related questions, right? So syllabus of prelim in geography they have mentioned very brief. That's why we go for the main syllabus to know it little bit more, that exactly what is there in the syllabus, right? They have mentioned in prelims, look at the what they have mentioned. They have mentioned very brief: India and world geography, physical, social, economic geography of India and the world. But exactly in physical geography what you will be getting. So when you read the main syllabus, you will get little bit more idea what is physical geography, and then what is social geography, what is economic. Like we just discussed primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. All this will be part of your economic geography, right? And the various landforms, various these kind of volcanic activities, earthquake, that will become part of your physical geography, isn't it? And social geography, demography and all will become part of your social geography, right? History we have already discussed, the sources also we have discussed. So let's look into the weightage of Geography in prelims. So geography is an again very significant subject, as I've already mentioned when I was doing in the part 1 GS paper 1, that there are 4 core subjects: your history, geography, economy and polity. These are the very core subjects for your prelims as well as for your mains. So the weightage in prelims is obviously great from geography. Good number of questions being asked. You can see on the board, on the screen, the ranges. It can range between somewhere between 15 to 18 questions. 15 to 18 questions. 15 to 18 questions being asked almost every year from geography. So it has got good weightage, right? Out of 100 questions, 15 to 18 questions straight away from geography. So somebody have a really good preparation over geography, they will get definitely much benefited, right? So this is how the weightage, you can look at the weightage: 2024 18 question, 2023 15, 16, then 2021 it was 11, 20 11, then 19 2019 14 questions being asked. 1 or 2 questions, few they put it under the environment and some they put it under the geography. The same question, sometime like I may put it under geography, some other they may put it under the environment, because there is a close link and relationship between environment and geography. Like Ramsar site, somebody can put it under geography, but somebody can put it under environment section, right? So this is what on an average this number of questions being asked every year, almost every year. So good weightage given to geography. Obviously it will vary, but you see they had asked 18 to 20 questions also, sometimes they had asked, right, as high as 18 to 20. So we should always be well prepared, since it is a core subject. Some year they may ask little bit less, but we have seen not less than 10 or so, isn't it? In these many years, at least 10 to 12 questions minimum they had asked, and it can go as high to 18 or 20 questions also from geography. I hope you got the clarity, the weightage of questions in geography in prelims. Then these are the sources. That's very important that you should know what material to study, because again there are so much of material in the market. You have to go with the authentic material and also limited material. Don't go after that this one particular question has come from this particular book, I should go for that. Never ever do like that, because it's not like you have to solve all the 100 questions in prelims, isn't it? So go for those materials, those books or those sources from where you can solve maximum number of questions. Just because 1 or 2 question randomly has come from any other unknown source or not so popular source and you start reading those books, that's not at all a wise decision. Go from those sources from where the maximum questions is being asked. The most important is that concept based questions should not be missed out, and for that NCERT is a very important source. Particularly for geography, you can say NCERT is a extremely important source. You have to study. In fact, most number of questions you can easily do if you have really studied well the NCERT along with the atlas and all. So these are the sources. NCERT 6 to 12 you have to study. So since I am talking from the prelims as well as from the mains point of view, isn't it? I am talking from the prelims and mains point of view. So prelims 6 to 12 you have to study. For mains, more concentration you can give 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th main concentration you can give for 11th and 12th, because maximum questions are being asked from the Indian geography and all. So 11th and 12th you can give more focus. Even for prelims they are more important. For prelims particularly I have to say 9 to 12. 9 to 12 books are very important for your prelims. Mains 11th and 12th. But why did I say from 6th? Because some questions in your prelims can also be asked between 6th to 8th class NCERT. So please go through 6 to 8 NCERT also. If you feel that there are so many books I have to refer, you can make notes. You can make notes out of that. Maybe 11th and 12th, 11th and 12th NCERT. You can make it like a core book. It can be a core book. And rest 6 to 10th you can make notes and add it to the core book. Or if you want, you can make entire geography notes from the NCERT. It's your choice. Then a very important book again is G.C. Leong, particularly some selective chapter you have to study, selective chapters from here, particularly on climate, clouds, landforms, atmosphere, those chapter, landforms, atmosphere, climate, those topics you should additionally study from G.C. Leong also. Right, G.C. Leong also. First NCERT build a very good concept. After that, those selective chapter you can go from G.C. Leong, right? Then atlas. Atlas is extremely important. A lot of question directly coming from atlas, like India sharing boundaries with its neighboring countries, which is the longest border India is sharing with the neighboring country. So that kind, or they can ask, like for example, Madhya Pradesh shares border with which states, or the largest India has which states has the largest coastline, such kind of question. And even in the world geography, like for example, very importantly, they have been asking, you know, almost every year, the Ukraine region and the Israel region, the Mediterranean region, which is always in conflict, isn't it? You know, the Israel region always in news because of the conflict, Palestine, Israel, and then Ukraine has been from 2-3 years. The Black Sea region, the Caspian Sea region, the Mediterranean region, particularly the Israel and all. So they have been asking almost every year question from that, from the political map, mostly from the political map, and also sometimes from the physical map, world geography I'm talking about. So atlas is extremely important. You should be, by looking at the, again on the PYQ, you'll come to know that what type, or how should I mold my preparation when it comes to atlas. Should I remember every bits of information, every bits of boundaries and all? That you will come to know by looking at the PYQ. You will come to know that exactly how type of questions are asking. I have already given you the example that Ukraine region, the Black Sea, Caspian, Israel, the West Asia region, Jordan, Lebanon and all, which are mostly in conflict almost all the time. So, from that reason, UPSC has been asking question almost every year. So that reason, you know that if every year they are asking question, why not consolidate that area? So again, atlas is very important, extremely important. Every day you can go through a small part, bit by bit. Like one day you can do all the countries through which the Tropic of Cancer passes, all the country through which the equator passes, such type of questions also been asked. So this is how you can, you can prepare. Additionally, there is one more book, India and World Geography by D.R. Khuller. So first, please study, these are the first primary sources, you can say, primary source and very important source. Apart from that, India and World Geography by D.R. Khuller is also important, but before that, you have to build a good concept from these material which I have just spoken: NCERT, G.C. Leong, atlas. Nicely first you do, and then maybe the few sections selectively you can study. Khuller, because it's quite a fat book. So you have to see the utility first. If by studying just these sources, I can solve maximum prelims and mains question, then I did not go, isn't it? I did not go. But yes, an additional reference. But again, this is a secondary source. Khuller is your secondary source. Primary source or main source for geography, particularly NCERT, selective chapter of GC Leong, and then Oxford Atlas. This atlas is a good one, student Oxford Atlas. So while buying the atlas, you just see that one side there is the political map, one side it's a physical map. So it becomes easy to compare the political map and the physical map, right? So that's the reason we recommend Oxford Students Atlas. I hope you got clarity on the source. Yes, NCERT 6 to 12, GC Leong, Certificate Physical and Human Geography, Oxford Student Atlas, and secondary source is your Khuller, right? So this is how you should go for your study. Then look at some previous year's questions paper, because I always try to show you the questions so that you get an idea that what type of questions being asked in prelims. So see, this is geography question. Ilmenite and rutile abundantly available in certain coastal tracts of India are resource of which one of the following? So again, if you would have read it, the NCERT and all. So titanium is a heavy mineral which consists of element, ilmenite and rutile, and which are important for your, it has a very high heat exposure, right? It can bear or withstand, you can say, it can withstand a very high temperature and all. So that's why it is being utilized in your atomic energy, as an atomic energy for your nuclear reactions. It's not a fuel, but it is used for the kind of equipments which is used in the atomic energy, right? Because of it can withstand very high temperature. So your answer is titanium, right? Ilmenite, rutile abundantly available in certain coastal tracts. So coastal tract like in your Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, those areas which have the coastal tracts, there is an abundant availability of ilmenite and rutile, which is part of what? Which is a part of titanium, right? Which is important for your, in the field of atomic energy, in the field of development of spacecraft, missiles and all. And it is a very easy question if you know the thing. It's a direct and I would say it is an easy question. Look at the one more question. I've taken one more question. Like, consider the following states. So it's a 2022 question. The earlier one was 2023. Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Tripura. How many of the above are generally known as tea producing states? So I think this question is again easy, but maybe confusing for some if you would have not studied properly, because we know that Kerala, we know it's at the hilly region. If you know, Himachal Pradesh again hilly region, Tripura, near, it's a northeastern state, Assam and all, they are very high tea producing. Some people, they may get confused for Andhra Pradesh, whether Andhra Pradesh, because people, they don't know much about Andhra Pradesh, right? That it is also a tea producing state. We know about mostly the hilly region, and Assam, we know that the largest tea producing state, West Bengal, the Siliguri region, the Darjeeling region and all, and Assam. So Tripura, yes, if somebody know that yes, it's a part of Northeast, and somewhere if you have idea, you can mark it. Tripura, Himachal Pradesh also. Kerala also somebody know the Ooty region, it's the Nilgiri region, and even the Tamil Nadu, right? The Nilgiri regions, which is there in your Tamil Nadu as well as Kerala. That is a tea producing area. So if you have idea, you will definitely mark it correct. Some may get confused for Andhra Pradesh, but yes, Andhra Pradesh also you have the Chittor district, then Araku Valley near Visakhapatnam. They have started growing tea there also, and slowly even Andhra Pradesh is taking the pace. So in that context, what is your answer? How many of them are generally known as tea producing states? All the 4 states, right? So that's what, good conceptual, why I'm trying to show you this question, because good conceptual clarity and good factual knowledge is also required. Good factual knowledge. Where I said Andhra Pradesh, somewhere people may find it a bit difficult because it is not so well known. Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Tripura we know, but Andhra Pradesh also, that also had started producing tea. So I've just shown you some few questions of geography prelims. Let me show you mains question also. So there's 2 questions I have picked up from 2023 and 24. So the first question you see, discuss the consequences of climate change on the food security in tropical countries. Consequence of climate change. So you must be knowing that the issue of climate change has become very, very prominent, because it's not going to impact one country, but it's going to impact the whole universe, the whole world, right? It will have a cumulative effect on every country, and mostly the tropical country. Why? Because tropical countries, they already have the harsh condition, very high heat and all. They already suffer from harsh condition. And moreover, when you look at the tropical countries, who are the tropical countries? Those countries which lies between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, right? And India is part of that. And many Asian countries, they are part of that, isn't it? Your India, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, then your countries in Africa, countries in South America or Latin America. So these countries, they already faces very, kind of a harsh climate. The climate change will even more make it more difficult. The issues of climate change will make the countries even more facing harsh climate thing. Further, they are also economically less developed in comparison to the Western countries, or you can say those countries which lies above the tropics. Those countries which lies above the tropics. The American country, that is North America, or you can say the Western European countries. So these countries, they lie above the tropics, right? So these countries, and also they are affluent countries, more developed countries. The socio-economic conditions are much better. They can have better adaptability and all. Third problem is also that these countries, the tropical countries, they have huge population, isn't it? The Asian countries, they have huge population. So obviously the population pressure is there, and above that the climate is getting harsher, isn't it? So the climate change will impact the agriculture production, isn't it? Will not be able to meet the requirement of this heavy population in terms of food security if the climate change happens and it become harsher and harsher, right? We already know that it is impacting. More drought can happen, more flood can happen, and all this will impact the agriculture sector, hence food production, and hence food security in these countries. So you have to write on these lines. I hope I made a little, some idea you got how to have an approach of this paper or this question. The next question you look at, what is the phenomena of cloudburst? Phenomena of cloudburst. So you must have heard about in Sikkim some few years before. Then Himachal Pradesh, last year Himachal Pradesh also, the cloudburst has happened. So cloudburst is basically a phenomena where intense rains takes place over a short area, some 20 or 30 square kilometer area, and intense rain takes place which results in flooding. It also results in flash floods. All of a sudden the flood will come, right? So it is very difficult to manage. It leads to huge disaster. Landslides happen, flash flood will happen, and mostly it is taking place in the hilly region, the Himalayan region, which is already very vulnerable, and then this flash flood results in very, very heavy disaster because of it will result in flash flood, landslides and all. So it increases the intensity of the disaster. The disasters which takes place because of cloudburst, and particularly in these hilly regions, the intensity of disasters increases like anything. It becomes very difficult, right? So that is what you have to explain about the cloudburst, and then you can give some examples where the cloudburst has happened and it results in heavy disaster, right? 150 word answer. It's 150 word you have to write. So you see, if you have developed the conceptual clarity, you can handle any question with ease, and for that, limited material, authentic material, right? Authentic and limited material, multiple revision is the key. So I hope you got some idea. Just I wanted to show you the nature of questions and also a little bit how to deal with those questions I have discussed, right? So we have done of geography. I have discussed about the syllabus of geography, and then we have also discussed about what sources or what material you have to study for geography. We have seen the weightage of geography question in the prelims, and then we have also seen few prelims question and then mains question, right? So let's now look into the society aspect. This is the last aspect of your GS paper 1. We have already done history. We have just completed geography. History, for history you can visit GS paper 1 strategy part 1. It will be available on Grace IAS YouTube channel. You can go and scroll it and you can go through the history section. So sources of study of society. So before that, just let me show you the syllabus of society. So this is what the syllabus, and this is exclusively in mains. The questions are from exclusively mains. But again, I have always repeated that the knowledge of mains also helps solving many questions in your prelims, and nowadays UPSC is not keeping the bar that these are only in main section, so we should not ask questions from the main section. We have seen that they have asked some questions which people feel that exclusively it is in mains, but they had asked in the prelims also some questions like that. It has been already asked. So don't exclude the society preparation while you are preparing for your prelims. So as I always say, first prepare for the mains and then you can narrow down to prelims, right? This is how the preparation should go. The salient features of Indian society: diversity, role of women, women's organizations, population, associated issues like poverty, development, urbanizations, and the problems, and also their remedies. What are the remedies? Then effects of globalization on Indian society, that how the Indian society is getting, impacted by globalization. We are getting more westernized, listening to more pop music, food, burger, pizza, which are inspired from the Western countries and all, isn't it? In the name of modernization, we are more aping the westernization. So how does it have the impact from joint family system to nuclear family system? So there are some good effects of globalization, but also there are some bad effects of globalization. So those things we'll be studying under this topic: effects of globalization on Indian society. Social empowerment. So in this topic, you will be talking about women empowerment, empowering the vulnerable section of the society, like the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women, minorities, elderly, people with disability, how they can be empowered, and the various government schemes that is meant for empowering these community, the vulnerable section of the society. So those things, issues of communalism. India being a diverse country, the communalism has been taking place on the religious line and also on the linguistic line, isn't it? The religion line, religious communalism, linguistic communalism, those kind of things. Regionalism, secularism, all these topics which impact the Indian society, that is what you will be studying under this section of Indian society. Okay, so I hope you got the clarity about the syllabus of Indian society, or what you can expect from Indian society. This is how the syllabus has been given. So now let's look into the since society is more from the mains perspective, let's look into the mains. What material you have to study? What materials? Yeah. So sources of study, what you have to study for preparing for society. So it is a society topic is quite fluid in nature. It is more dynamic. So you don't have to study only the kind of a static material, but also you'll have to update yourself from newspapers, magazines, some reliable internet sources, right? Like Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. You can go through the various schemes, government schemes made for vulnerable sections of the society. So that is how you have to prepare. So for the static portion, or to have an idea or to have a good conceptual clarity about the various social issues in India, you can refer this book, NCERT book. You can refer NCERT books, Sociology 11th and 12th, 11th and 12th Sociology book, for building for basic foundation about the Indian society, issues of communalism, regionalism, women issues, elderly issues, all the various social issues you can develop. And then as I said you that a lot of questions come from the current perspective also, and you will also have to provide a lot of examples from the current affairs and current events in your mains. And the knowledge of various government schemes are very, very important again. So for that, you can update it through the newspaper, through magazines and reliable online sources. You can visit also the website of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, right, to supplement your kind of preparation. Only static material will not help you in writing good answer. You have to update yourself. In fact, you have to update for almost every topic, right? Every topic, except you can say history in mains which do not require much updation, but some updation even they sometime if new things has been discovered in the context of history, you may have to update, but history definitely require less updation or much less of it. They are more static in nature. So you'll have to update for geography, you'll have to update for society, you have to update even more. It's a very dynamic, right? Dynamic issue. Then refer to reports, survey, recent surveys, and like census data. So we have 2011 census data that you refer, National Family Health Survey, their report, then Niti Aayog report. These all you can keep into mind. Even second ARC report also sometime it will help you in some aspect. So this is how you have to prepare for your society aspect, right? So these are the sources or material. Clear till here? Yes? So we have seen the sources. Let us see some mains question, as society questions are mainly being asked in the mains question. These two questions I have picked up from 2024, just recent mains. Intercaste marriages between caste with same socio-economic parity has increased to some extent. Intercaste marriages, socio-economic parity with same socio-economic parity have increased to some extent, but this is less true for inter-religious marriage. So first of all, you have to understand the meaning of the question and then you can go through. So basically it talks about that there is two type of you can say intra-community marriage. Sorry, inter-community marriage. Intra-community is within the community. That is what most prevalent. Within the community, like within same religious community or within same caste community, that is called intra-community marriage. Inter means among. So one is the inter-caste marriage, isn't it? Among the different caste, and one is your inter-religious marriage. One is the inter-caste marriage. So this is picking up. But the thing is, you see, same socio-economic parity. So somewhere you can say the caste differences is kind of going down. Now, as the society is evolving and progressing, the caste system is somewhere getting, reduced, the intensity of the caste differences and all. So now people have, the caste has been replaced with class. So if people are from, similar class, like if the affluent class, but they are a different caste, the marriages are happening. So now it has turned into more class kind of system. The caste is slowly taking place in terms of class. So class is about, rich or poor. It's about rich or poor. Rich, poor or middle class, like that. So slowly the caste factor is going down because the intercaste marriages are picking up, but of course with the same socio-economic parity. They should be in the same class level, right? If the affluent class, for example, a Kshatriya marrying or a caste belonging to Kshatriya marrying somebody from the Vaishyas communities, but the parity should be same. They should belong to same class. If they are rich, it's among the rich. If they are poor, among the poor, right? So now the thing is basically the class distinction. Caste is being slowly getting replaced with the class distinction. But whereas inter-religious marriage, that is still India has not picked up, though slowly, definitely in comparison to the past, even that is picking up. But in comparison to the intercaste, inter-religious marriage are less, because inter-religious differences are more, isn't it? Because of the cultural, socio-cultural setup is quite different, isn't it? When you look it into the socio-cultural setup of among different religions is quite different in comparison to the inter-caste socio-cultural setup, right? So within Hindi community there are different castes, you know, but the socio-cultural setup is similar, but when it comes to inter-religious, the socio-cultural setup, the language, their kind of an religion, their you know, the food habit, dressing habit, lot of things get changed with religion. So that's where somewhere there is you know, difficulty maybe for adjustment or so. So that is how you can give the examples, and some data also you can collect. I hope you understood the meaning of the question. The next question, you see, the next question talks about the concept of demographic winter. Demographic winter. So we all have heard about demographic dividend, isn't that? That India have more young population, so we can reap the demographic dividend provided they are skilled and they are more employable, right? So we can, because India offers a big market and India also offer being a most populous country, we have more working class people. So that is called demographic dividend. But major part of the world, including India, I would say, including India, we are moving towards demographic winter. So what is demographic winter? It is nothing but aging population. The aging population is increasing because of the birth rate has already gone down. Death rate has also gone down because of good medical conditions and all the medical facilities and all. So what will be the impact? What will be the impact on economy, on social setup and all, isn't it? So the government will have to come up with the more facility, more geriatric care, more old age care, isn't it? So more money has to be spent for the health sector, particularly taking care of the elderly, isn't it? So including India, we are moving towards the aging population, and there are challenges. So those challenges has to be addressed. So that is what you have to talk about, right? So obviously when you know the meaning of demographic winter, then only you can, you know, answer this question. So it is something you can say that is more based on current affairs, right? So I hope you got more idea and more clarity now. You are much more better placed after this session. I hope that I made some contributions to your preparations, and you know, we are, you know, coming up with more and more guidance on UPSC series, the various aspect. Already we have taken a general orientation class on UPSC. With this we also complete GS paper 1 strategy. GS paper 2 already we have done. So you can please visit for GS paper 2, you can visit Grace IAS YouTube channel. You can scroll it down and then you will find GS paper 2 strategy in detail. We have already discussed. So with this, I am winding up the session, and any queries, any doubt, you can reach to us through the chat box. We will resolve your queries. And with this, winding up, keep learning, keep improving. All the very best. Thank you.